Okay, folks, we're going to start off laying down. So come on down. Get your back nice and flat on the floor. Spread it out. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath your rib cage. Okay, maybe waggle your low back a little bit around. And take your time settling in. Start to breathe through your nose. Okay, give yourself some time to transition. I like to take about 5 minutes just to transition, so there's really no rush. Let's see if you could just start to notice your breath getting deeper and longer. Notice your body relaxing. See if you could just let gravity grab you and pull you down here. Today is the full moon, and it's really easy to feel a little bit up in the air on the full moon. So give yourself some time just to feel so grounded. Feel the floor underneath you. Become aware of where you are and start to zone in and bring your awareness inward to this moment. Notice the fullness of the inhale, the strength of the exhale. Find as much movement as you can in your chest, your belly, your back, just with your breath. Allow your jaw to let go a little more with each breath. See if you could find more softness in your face, your tongue. Let's play around with the breathing pattern a little bit. Next time you inhale, take in as much air as you can. Really slow. And then pause at the top of your inhale and take in a little more. Think of increasing that inner surface area of your lungs. Then hold it for a few seconds. And then exhale. Completely. Let's see if we could squeeze out all of the available air. So press it out. And then at the bottom, press out some more. Press out some more. Press out more. And hold it. And can we do a few more rounds of breath like that? Okay, maximum inhale and hold. Maximum exhale and hold. Take a few more rounds like this. Just kind of playing and experimenting. Notice how it feels, okay? I like to try kind of a 4-count inhale, a 4-count hold, 4-count exhale, 4-count hold, but you experiment. Pay particular attention to what happens between the breath and the spaces where you're just holding. What do you notice about those spaces? And let your breathing return to a more normal pace that you can begin to move with. We'll start to move just a little. Okay, reach your arms out overhead and your legs out long. Make yourself really super long here. Okay, take some time just to stretch. It should feel really good. And see if, as your arms reach up, notice if your shoulder blades tend to move up by your ears. Do your best to move your shoulders away from your ears as your arms reach out, okay? So your neck remains long. It doesn't disappear into your torso, okay? And then we're going to lengthen the right arm and leg more than the left side. So reach out more through the right arm, more through the right foot. And then let's put a complementary contraction into the left side. So sort of like your obliques are working and you're trying to bring that left hip up towards your left rib. And maybe we can even deepen this little side bend that we're cultivating. If you walk your feet out to the left, way off the sides of your mat, you can stack that right ankle on top of the left and get a really nice side bend. Okay, up through the hip to the side of the body. And maybe even walk your arms out to the left. And I like to grab the right wrist with the left hand here, put the arms on the floor, and then pull the right arm over to the left. So what we've built here is a banana pose. And here in banana pose, be sure that your shoulders and your hips are both on the floor and they don't try to roll up. And take some really big, luscious breath into the right side, the ribs, the low back, the armpit. And try to breathe in between the spaces of your ribs. And let's bring this banana pose through center and build it on the other side. So legs through center. We'll take the feet out to the right and start extending more through the left arm and leg than the right. Put some contraction in the right obliques, okay? Get that side nice and short. The left side can be long. And maybe you stack the left ankle on top. Maybe the right hand moves the left wrist further to the right. Keep your back body grounded and keep your neck long. Breathe deeply here. Okay, let's bring this banana shape back through center. Okay, and take your arms out into a cactus shape here. Okay, so your shoulder blades are smooshing onto the floor. Your upper body is a little bit pressing against the floor. Okay, it doesn't have to be a crazy amount of strength, but put a little bit of a press down through your upper body, the backs of your hands, your elbows. Bring your feet in close by your hips here. Okay. And we want to think of the knees and the feet and the hips all being the same distance apart. So your two legs are on two parallel planes. And then in your imagination, put a tennis ball between your knees and hold it there. So you're going to engage your knees inward to hold that tennis ball. And hopefully you feel your core kind of engaging, your low back neutralizing a bit. And see if you can keep that tennis ball, okay? As you inhale and lift your hips nice and high. So lift the hips up, hold your tennis ball between your knees. Then exhale to drop your hips. So let's do that a few more times, okay? Inhale to lift. Make sure your nose always points up and never at your knees. And exhale to lower. Okay, keep it going. Maybe just find a nice little rhythm of your own. And start to cultivate more of a rolling up and down. So as you lift your tailbone and lift your spine, could you do one vertebra at a time, rolling up? And then replace one vertebra at a time on the way down. So we're really dialing in some control in this bridge posture. Okay, also, if you keep that neck pointed straight up, that nose pointed straight up, it'll make sure that the back of your neck stays neutral and doesn't really touch the floor, which is what we're looking for. Okay, next time the legs are up, the hips are up, pause and breathe right here. Okay, give some nice press of your upper body against the floor. Maybe even make robot arms here. You can take your elbows down by your side and point your fingertips up, okay? I like this because you can get a really good push down against the floor. So make sure you still have your tennis ball between your knees, strong legs, the core is engaged, and lift those hips nice and high. Feel the back of your body getting warm. And let's take one more really big breath in right here in your bridge posture. Slowly, as you exhale, slowly roll your spine down. See if you could really make it last, pointing your tailbone away from your head. And as your hips land, pause right there. Okay, you can take your arms back into that cactus shape. We're going to cross the right leg over the left, okay? And you have the option to single cross your knees just like this. Or if you want, you can tuck the right foot behind the left. I call that double crossing. So single or double, it's really up to you. Go ahead and lift your feet up off the floor once you've crossed your legs. Ground that strong upper body. And we'll start to hover the knees on one side and then hover them on the other. So keep breathing. I want to do this a few more times. So find a rhythm that suits you. And do your best to keep those shoulder blades down here. Notice how this feels on your glutes as they smoosh against the floor. Notice how it feels in your hips. All right, and next time you drop your knees over to the left, let them fall. Okay, let them fall heavily. If you want to, you can put your left hand on that top knee and give it a gentle press downward. But we're really going to press down in that right shoulder blade and look to the right. So take some time here, pressing that floor down, breathing. And then get a sense here, as you press down into the shoulder blades, could you lift your rib cage up a little bit? Almost like you're trying to peel everything up off the floor except your shoulder blades. Maybe one more big breath in this great twist. And let's bring it back through center. Okay, before we leave this posture, bring your knees up again, okay, so that you can grab them with your hands. And you might just grab your shins, you might grab behind your thighs if that's more approachable, but do give those knees a little bit of a squeeze towards your heart, okay? It's a little bit challenging, but do your best, grab them and pull them in, and take a breath or two right here. And really squishing those legs inward. Okay, as you're ready, let that go. You can drop your feet, untangle your legs, take a few windshield wipers, and then we'll do the other side. We'll just shake out your hips first. Okay, coming back through center, pause. Let's do the left leg over the right this time. You can single or double cross. Okay, feet are up off the floor, cactus arms engaging downward, and we hover side to side here. Okay, remember to breathe. Remember to look away from your knees so that you get that twist that goes all the way up and down your spine. Notice if this side feels any different than the other. Chances are it feels at least a little different. Okay, next time your legs drop to the right, let's allow them to fall. Okay, and we'll sink into this twist for a little while. So right fingers can touch the top leg and kind of press it downward. Look to the left and really super ground your shoulder blades. Anytime we twist, we want a really long spine. So keep that in mind. Okay, as well as keeping your long spine in mind, start to think of lifting your rib cage up, creating a bit more space in your chest. Maybe one more really nice big breath here. As you are ready, bring it back through center. Okay, before you let go of your twisty legs, your tangled up legs, bring them back up in toward your chest. Grab a hold as best you can and try to squish your legs in towards your heart. Nice breath here. Just notice what you feel. Notice how your hips feel about this. Okay, let that go. Untangle. Let's take a few more windshield wipers. Okay, once your knees point back up, pause. Tuck your hands behind your knees. We're going to rock it up. Come on up. Okay, once you're up in a seat, drop your hands behind you. Okay, and make sure your wrists are feeling good about whatever direction your fingers point. Plant your feet on the ground. And then in a little crab-like shape, go ahead and press your hips up off the floor. So if this is uncomfortable at any time, you always have the option to come down. So keep that in mind. But I just want to warm up your joints a little bit so that we can open things up a little more. So from here, move your hips towards your heels, like you're trying to sit on your heels. And then move your hips back up into your crab shape. And then move your hips back towards your hands and see about maybe your hips stop on the floor by your hands, and that's great. But maybe you can get your hips to go back between your arms and then back up to that crab, okay? So let's just take it a few more times. Hips to heels. Keep breathing, hips up. Okay, maybe exhale when your hips come down. Inhale when your hips come up. And let's take maybe 3 or 4 more rounds, just like this. Okay, this is a great shoulder stretch in the front. Also, it's opening up your hips nicely in the front. Okay, we can call this a reverse plank. All right. Next time your hips come back up to center, let them fall all the way back to the floor. Okay, turn your knees out to one side. And we're going to flip it over to hands and knees. So here we are, hands and knees. Let's do a wrist stretch, okay? It's good to take care of our wrists. We really put them through the ringer and they don't get enough love. So flip your palms over, fingers point at you. You can do one hand or two. It's really up to you guys. And we're just gonna revolve in little circles, shoulders over wrists. Okay, should feel really nice. It should never feel bad. Let's take it back the other way. Okay, and then see if you could make a fist and then spread your fingers just a couple times. Make a fist, spread your fingers, make a fist, spread your fingers. Okay, flip the palms over, palm down, fingers pointing at you. Okay, take it back the other way. Same thing, we're gonna do little gentle circles. Okay, make sure you have a little bend in your elbows. And let's take it back around the other way. All right, back to normal. Maybe shake it out. All right, tuck your toes here. We're gonna lift the hips and find a down dog. So come up to your downward facing dog and walk out your heels. And keep in mind, you can always modify down dog and make it more gentle. You can bend your knees and that tends to make it more easeful. And you can also just come down to your knees at any time. So just keep that in your pocket as an option. Okay, taking a few breaths here. I just want to push down into the hands and back through your feet. So make a really strong shape here, pushing the floor away from you, lifting your belly button into your spine. Could you make maybe your spine a little bit longer by walking your fingers a little bit further forward? And let's pull those elbows in toward each other. Okay, one more big breath in right here in your downward facing dog, opening up the backs of your legs, opening up your chest and your shoulders. And as you're ready, tiptoe to your hands. See how long you can continue to tiptoe, okay? And when you've reached as far as you can go, drop your heels, bend your knees pretty generously, and go ahead and just hang your head here. Let yourself shake it out. So let's take a few more breaths right here. Maybe close your eyes, soften your face. Okay, it might feel good to sway a little bit side to side. Okay, maybe even join your hands behind you. You can get them interlaced at the fingers and move your palms away from you. Maybe one more big breath here in your forward fold. Okay, so feeling some hopefully great release in your back body, all across the back side of your body. And then let's get those palms back to the floor. Okay, inhale here, step your feet back, just do a momentary plank, okay? And exhale here, see if you can lower yourself down really slowly. We're gonna do some cobras. So inhaling, gripping that mat with your strong tiger claw hands, pull your heart. up and forward. So it doesn't have to be that high and it doesn't have to be that crazy, okay? It's really up to you. With your exhale, allow your heart to come back down. So I want to do this a few more times. So just kind of find a rhythm that suits you. Inhaling, pull your heart up and forward. Think of pointing your tailbone down, then your heart up. And exhale, set it back down. Okay, I'm just going to give you some options to play with, but continue to cobra. Continue to pull that heart up. I want you to pull your elbows into your sides while you move, so your elbows are glued to your ribs. Here are some options, okay? What if you take your fingers out a little bit further away from you? You can even tent your hands, pull up that way. See how that feels? Okay. And no matter what you're doing, no matter what your cobra looks like or feels like, pull that belly button up and in and think of pointing that tailbone straight down. Okay, that's how we're going to keep the low back safe. Okay, maybe one more cobra, just like you like it. And then next time you come down, just pause here. I want to find a sustainable cobra. So sustainable cobra means that you don't have to use your hands. So find that just that enough lift in your heart. Okay, tailbone down, belly button up, and then float your palms just off the floor. And we're just going to take some breath right here, just using your back body. Okay, we're just getting a little bit warm in the back. You can always come down and take a break. You can always stay here. Or if you want a little bit more for your back body, really strengthen your glutes, go ahead and lift your legs and put your feet right close together. And just feel the back body getting warm. Feel the long spine looking down. Okay, maybe one nice big breath here in cobra. And exhale. Come on down. You can just set your forehead down. And take a breath or two to let the magic of that little back extension wash over you. Okay, hands under shoulders. Tuck your toes. Let's press it up to hands and knees. And now that we got your back body nice and warm, go ahead and have a seat. Okay? And we'll get a little bit more twisty. So let's take your left foot and tuck it in close to your right hip. So left foot tucks in. This right foot, let's send it over to the outside edge of the left knee. So maybe make a little extra effort to get the right hip down because it has a tendency to want to come up. So put it down, right? And then let's use the left arm to hold the right leg very close. And sit up tall. Okay, think of grounding that tailbone and lifting the top of your head. And after you've had a moment, just using the left arm to pull that right knee close to your heart, we can go even more deeply into this twist. So take your right fingers behind you with a long spine. You can push the floor a little bit. Nice breath. We want long spine inhales. And strong belly exhales. So with each inhale, as you look over that right shoulder, make that right side of your chest bigger and broader, okay, softer. If you want a little more from this twist, you can get a little further into it by taking the left elbow to the outside of the right knee and using it to deepen that twist. No matter where you are, you have the same big breath in, the same strong belly exhale. Okay, as you're ready to come out of this, go ahead and bring it back to center. We're not going to leave this posture just yet. We're just going to modify it to get a little more into your hips and your low back. Okay, so move your hips back a little bit so that your left foot is further away from you. And then we'll stack the right ankle on the left knee. Okay, stack the right knee over where the left ankle is. And we have a stacked logs posture. Okay, for some of us, this is going to be super intense. Okay, so if it's way too intense, just extend your bottom leg, your left leg. Okay, it should get a lot less intense once you do that. So that's an option. Okay, if you want to have both legs bent, you can also just lean back, and it's a lot less intense that way too. So those are two options to make it more gentle. But once you're there, you're settled into the variation you want to go with, put a really strong flex in both your ankles. So both your ankles are extreme right angles, okay? They're strong. The legs are active here. They don't have to be 100% active, but put some activity. Okay, when you look down, you see a nice little triangle. We've got the legs stacked. So just drop your fingers beside you and make a long spine. Go ahead and close your eyes. And we're just going to be in this posture for a little while. We're just going to let it do its magic. So it takes about 30 seconds for any stretch to actually begin to happen. So before you move into a deeper expression of the posture, give yourself 30 seconds, okay? And then really start to activate the legs against the earth. So imagine you want to push your legs into the floor and lift yourself up. Notice how that feels in your hips. If you want to move more deeply into this stacked logs posture, you can take your fingers out front, but continue to push that floor away. Okay, you can even come down to your elbows in front after a few breaths. If you want to let your head hang, go for it. Let that head hang, but keep your neck really long and soft. The shoulders are moving away from the ears. The legs continue to resist the floor slightly. Okay, as you're ready, start to walk yourself up and out of this stacked logs posture, and we'll switch sides. So if you take your right foot now and thread it underneath your left leg, close to your left hip, and just set that right leg on the floor. We can take the left foot to the outside of the right knee. Okay, and we're ready to do a twist on this side. So ground those hips. Make sure the left one especially is down. Okay. And then right hand can hold left leg. Think of holding it as if you wanted to put it on your heart. So pull it in, sit up tall, and start to look over that left shoulder. So left fingers behind your back can push down and make you a little bit taller. And once you're in your twist, start breathing very deeply. Long spine, inhale. Strong belly, exhale. Notice the left side of your chest expanding, the back side of your right rib cage. Okay, notice how that feels right now. Getting a great stretch for the back of the right shoulder. If you want to deepen this, right elbow to the outer left knee, and you can really propel yourself here. Maybe one more breath right here. Okay, start to roll yourself out. Okay, let's transition to that stacked logs posture. So if you just pick up your left foot, put it on your right knee. Okay, you might need to move your hips back a little bit away from your right foot. But the idea is you want to stack those two lower legs, stack the knees and the ankles so that you can barely see the bottom leg. So when you look down, you see barely anything of the bottom leg, okay? Feel free to extend the bottom leg to make this much more gentle, or just lean back, okay? Like you're kind of backing out of it. All right, wherever you are, flex those feet, make them nice and strong, and just realize that it's going to take time, okay? This is one of those postures where we've just got to give it time to soften up. It's not going to feel free right away all the time. So be patient, okay? Start to resist the floor with your legs. So start to press down into them. You want to push the floor away. Okay, maybe you just sit up tall for a little while. Maybe that's enough. Don't feel like you have to keep going, okay? But if you want to dive in, you can start to walk your fingers out. Keep the breath moving. We can even bring the elbows down. We can even hang the head. Find that breath. Okay, when we open up the hips, sometimes we encounter a lot of intensity, okay? Some people experience emotions. We tend to store a lot of memories and experiences in our muscle tissues. And the hips are kind of the mother lode, okay? So be brave, keep breathing, and back away if there's pain. Okay, start to back yourself up and out of this. There's no rush. Lean back here, and then let's kick all the legs out, and let's give some windshield wipers here. Notice how your hips feel, how your legs feel. We did some really great work today. Okay, should be feeling nice all over. From here, tuck your hands behind your knees and roll yourself back in slow motion. All the way down to the floor, my friends. Extend your arms and legs and find your resting posture. We made it. Okay, so here is where you can release controlling the breath. Okay, release all control over your body. And just let yourself be here now. Let your body just melt into the floor. Imagine you could feel air moving between your cells. Okay, cleaning out all the gunk in your muscles, the gunk of your daily life that just accumulates. Allow all of that to just fall away. And give yourself this time just to be still and enjoy being present in this moment. There is no other moment. This is the one. And please stay here just resting for as long as you can. 5 minutes would be your ideal minimum. Longer is better. So thanks so much for joining me. This is where I'll leave you today.